forest was too quiet that night. Not the kind of silence that calms you, the kind that watches you. Deep within the woods near a forgotten town called Blackridge, darkness didn't just exist, it breathed. Old Professor Adrian Hale sat still, eyes closed. The room around him was dim, almost listening. His voice came out low. Some things don't attack your body, they wait for your permission. The air felt heavier, and once you give it, it never leaves. Blackridge, winter of 2025, a small town beside the frozen Greyfall River, quiet, isolated, the kind of place where nothing happens until something does. Edward Sinclair was one of the most respected men there, wealthy, disciplined, untouchable. But even men like him can't protect everything. It started with his granddaughter, 8 years old. At first just silence, then changes. Her skin turned pale. Dark circles formed under her eyes. Her lips cracked, sometimes bleeding. And every night she whispered one thing. "Someone is talking to me, inside my ear." That's when Adrian was called. But here he wasn't Adrian yet. His real name was Johnson. Before he became a professor, before he buried his past, he was something else. Someone who dealt with things people refused to believe. The moment Johnson saw the girl, he knew. This wasn't a ghost. This wasn't possession. This was worse. "It doesn't haunt the body," Johnson said quietly. "It invades the mind." He looked at Edward. "You're dealing with something called the whispering entity." What is the whispering entity? It doesn't scream. It doesn't show itself. It whispers, softly, right next to your ear. It learns your fears, your regrets, your desires. And then it offers you something you want. But there is one truth Johnson once learned from his mentor. It cannot fully enter this world unless it is invited. And the invitation is your attention. Years earlier, Johnson had faced it once before in this same forest. That night there was no moon, no wind, no sound. Then suddenly, fire, not normal fire. It rose from the ground itself, twisting with black smoke and a smell, metallic, like blood. From the darkness, a man stepped forward. The occultist, long tangled hair, ash-covered skin, eyes empty but hungry. "You shouldn't be here," he growled. Johnson said nothing. He began chanting. The man screamed. And then the whispers began. From nowhere, from everywhere. Behind him, inside him. The entity was nearby, not fully manifest yet. The occultist lunged forward, trying to break Johnson's focus. But Johnson sliced his palm, drew a circle on the ground with his blood. A boundary. The man stopped at the edge. He couldn't cross it. Enraged, he dug into the soil and threw something. A severed head. It landed beside Johnson, still bleeding. Johnson didn't react. He kept chanting. The whispers grew louder, trying to break him, calling his name. But he didn't listen. And suddenly, silence. The entity failed to attach. The fire collapsed. The connection broke. The occultist stepped back into the darkness. But before disappearing, he smiled. "I know your scent. I will return." He did return, but this time the problem had grown. The girl was getting worse, but now Johnson understood something important. The entity wasn't inside her fully. It was gaining access through attention and response. Every whisper she answered made it stronger. Lights turned off on their own. Doors creaked open at night. And sometimes she smiled in her sleep. Time was running out. The new moon night, Evan went into the forest, alone. No animals, no wind, no sound. But this time, he knew what he was walking into. The moment he stepped in, the whispers started inside his mind, not just calling him, but trying to make him react. He kept walking. Blood slowly dripped from his ears. Still, he didn't respond. Then he saw him, the occultist, waiting. "You came back," the man smiled. Johnson didn't answer, because now he understood. Response is the doorway. The whispers grew louder, pushing him, trying to force reaction. And then, Johnson did something unexpected. He stopped resisting completely. Not surrender, but silence. Absolute silence inside his mind. The entity had no reaction to grab onto. That was the mistake. Evan slammed a copper vessel onto the ground, his blood still fresh. He began chanting not to fight the entity, but to lock its access point. Everything froze. No whispers, no wind, no sound. Then a violent pull, like something being sealed out of reality itself. And suddenly, silence. Morning. The forest felt normal. For the first time, the copper vessel had turned completely black. The connection was gone. The entity, sealed again, not destroyed. Because it cannot be destroyed, only contained temporarily. The occultist never returned. The girl survived. She grew up, lived a normal life, but even today, she cannot tolerate loud sounds because somewhere deep inside, she still remembers the whispers. If you ever hear someone calling your name at night and the voice feels familiar, do not answer. It never forces its way in. It waits for permission. If you enjoyed this scary story, make sure to subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for more. Let me know in the comments how you felt about this story. Don't forget to like the video and share it with your friends who love horror stories. Thank you for watching. Stay safe.